Hello and welcome to the Talking Basketball podcast. I am Mark.
I am Paul. Hello.
Hello, and we are back again with another episode this week with another guest.
We have got another guest, and it is a real unique episode, I think, today.
Yeah, this is different.
Because today we're talking all about the legendary organisation which is known as FIMBA GB. And before we go into that, Mark, I just want to say one thing, if that's okay.
Yes.
A huge thank you to all our listeners.
Yeah, massive thank you.
Because what are we looking at now? 51.4 thousand in the last 30 days?
51.9, almost
Wow.
52,000.
So thank you very much. Mark showed me some of the listings as well, the highest UK basketball rating podcast at the moment.
Very, very cool.
I liked it when I looked at it. It was like right next to Shaq. It was like, that's very cool.
Yeah,
But, so huge thank you.
Still above Draymond Green, but don't tell him or he'll come and punch me.
Wow. Anyway, look, huge thank you for that. But let's crack on and talk about FIMBA GB, Mark. We got a guest.
We've got a guest on the line.
And
Who is it?
We've just realised that this guy potentially dislocated my finger in a game once. So I'm sure we'll talk about that. Let me just introduce Mark.
Do it.
Nottingham legend. He's played National League all the way from Division 4, 3, 2 and 1 with multiple championship wins. I'm just going to go straight into it. Yeah, now stand and cheer. Yeah, forward number 4, Bruce Lauder. That one a bad one.
That wasn't a bad one.
That was all right. I mean, I'm number 7, but it was okay. You'd
Oh,
go a bit of cheer if you said number 7.
I thought you said 4. Oh, well, Bruce, welcome. We're really, really pleased that you came on the show because we've had quite a few guests who are part of the FIMBA GB setup, and it's just one of those amazingly awesome, cool things. And we just wanted to go in more detail about it.
Well, I want to learn what it is. What is FIMBA? Tell me, tell us, tell everyone. Explain FIMBA.
Guys, thanks a lot for getting me on. It is genuinely brilliant. And, if you've got 52,000 listeners, then, if every one of those gives £1 to support us in our journey, that would be fantastic. But FIMBA is an amazing organisation. We are Masters basketball. We are Great Britain Masters basketball from 35 all the way up. We've got 70s age group on the men's side, 65 on the women, 14 different age categories. And, these guys are phenomenal. We're still quite young and fit and healthy at 35, 40, 45, whatever we are. But you see these 70-year-olds running up and down the court going just as hard as us and still running and still jumping and still being physical. They are genuine inspirations. It is an awesome organisation. Do you want a quick history of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Give us history. I want to know, first of all, who decided that 35 was the lower cutoff to say, right, that after that's the Masters.
So that was FIMBA Global.
Okay.
So FIBA, which is the governing body of world basketball, there is a Masters version, which is FIMBA, M for the Masters. I don't know, because for me, 35, most 35-year-olds are still playing.
I mean, LeBron wouldn't be happy with that if you went, mate, you're a master now. He'd be like, no, I'm still playing in the regular league.
I mean, I'd be happy if you had a British passport. But yeah, I think it's kind of that go-between. But when you look at the 35s, it's always really difficult to manage the training sessions because you've got to go around the National League schedule for them all still, because they're all playing Div 2, Div 1, whatever it may be. When you get to 40s, it's more Div 2, Div 3, and then above that, it's local league and mostly coaching and giving a little bit back to the community from the years that they put into it themselves.
So am I right in thinking that if you say we didn't qualify for Paris in 2024 this year for going to the Olympics, but if we did have a team that went to the Olympics, once you get to a stage of being past that, that's where you'd be in FIMBA effectively for GB.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we are the opportunity to carry on representing your country for the I don't want to say the older athlete, the more mature, experienced athlete.
And is that GB or United Kingdom? Because I know with athletics and things, there's obviously and football, there can be amalgamations, and other times they're split off. So how does that work?
So we are GB. So we are Basketball Scotland, Basketball England, Basketball Wales.
Okay.
Northern Ireland is part of FIMBA Ireland.
Ah,
okay.
So it's kind of like the British and Irish lines without Ireland.
Amazing.
And you know what? One of the things that I love about FIMBA GB, and it was the reason I saw it and started wanting to get into it, is you see the pictures from these tournaments, and everyone just looks like they're having an absolute blast.
And you know what? That's the biggest thing. You know, FIMBA GB is I mean, we compete. We compete hard on court. You know, we've won. I can't remember how many medals now. A lot of medals. Hang on, I should know, shouldn't I?
I think it's 6 medals, 6 international medals. No, was it
10? You got
10.
six European ones and 4 world ones.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
That's really cool.
You know, we compete and we like to play hard, and you know, when it comes down to getting on court, you know, as players yourself, you know that your brain goes, your mind goes, and you're just fully focused on that. And then the final whistle goes, the final hooter goes, and the difference where you didn't have at National League level is you're then in the bar with the opposition having a beer and discussing the game, and then you're going in the pool and you're doing one of my fondest memories of Malaga in 2022. We were all the FIMBA teams were in one hotel, which was great, because then every morning you come down to breakfast and you've got 60s women, the 50s men, everybody's there.
Well, you're talking like maybe like 200 odd people, aren't you? Like really all together.
Yeah, I think at a tournament we normally it's about 240 players.
Yeah,
amazing.
Not including then you've got the coaches, you've got the physios, you've got the team managers, you've got all the support staff. You know, it is a huge thing. And just coming down for breakfast, seeing everybody in the same kit as you. And you just go and have a chat with them. Oh, you know, are you playing today? Who are you playing? How are you going to get on? And it's just this lovely inter-age group socialization side. And we were sat by the pool one day, and I was always up very early, even though we kind of got home fairly late most nights.
Is that training? Is it extra training in the gym?
Yeah, it was weightlifting, mostly with our right arms. So we're always back. We're always the last team back. But I was always up early. So I was sat by the pool, and one of my teammates was with me, a guy called Ryan. Lovely guy. Bit odd, but lovely guy. We call him Sweary Ryan in our house.
Okay.
Him and I were watching, and the water aerobics started. And you've got this young Spanish kid taking all these nice old ladies into the water aerobics. And obviously all the FIMBA teams are still asleep because they're nourishing their bodies, getting ready for the tournament and the day ahead, and definitely not nursing hangovers. And Ryan and I looked at each other and said, we need to get the whole team doing this tomorrow morning.
Brilliant.
So the message goes round to the whole of the GB Wolfpack. And then next morning, we're in the pool, the coach is in the pool, the physio's in the pool, the team manager's in the pool. And yeah, I'm 6'5" and I'm relatively short for that team. You got some big guys on there. You got Rod Wellington, who, you know, from your neck of the woods, great legend of the game, you know, massive guy. And we're all there doing the water aerobics in front of these little Spanish kids. They didn't know what to do because we were doing it, we were taking it seriously. And we've had so many then of the other FIMBA teams are sort of around the pool filming us. We've got it literally from every single angle. We've got our water aerobics session.
Oh, brilliant. I bet those elderly ladies were like, this is great.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So you just said that
I'd rather not think about that.
you said there's like 200 odd people there, obviously with the FIMBA squad. How many squads or how many teams are there in total? How many countries are there in total? Because it's like wherever you are at this resort, whatever, it's basically basketball just descends on it, I guess.
Yeah, it does. So it varies tournament to tournament. The world champion, it's strange. The world champions tend to be less teams because they're a lot more global. Obviously, then the cost goes up significantly. And in Europe, you have so many of the European teams that are basketball mad. You know, that the UK isn't, but we're still putting 15, 16 teams into these tournaments, which is a huge statement. We have the most number of teams at any tournament we've been to.
Oh,
so
really?
as GB. You know, this small basketball nation that nobody thinks can play basketball and has no interest in basketball. When it comes to Masters, we are the most well represented country.
Oh, well, that
that's
says
fantastic.
something.
That
That
is
says something in
fantastic.
itself, doesn't it?
Where's the fun? Why is the funding not behind that then, with like Sport England and stuff like that, to keep promoting these sort of things, just out of, you know, from
I think you're looking at
a layman?
just general funding in basketball there, Mark.
Yeah, but
It's pretty poor.
okay, so
Look, when
I saw a thing-
badminton's higher than for funding than basketball, it's
yeah,
like,
but you
come
look
on.
at the funding that they put in for things like yachting and stuff, for example. Now, I like sailing and so forth, but you see the funding they put in for stuff like that, or equestrian, the funding is through the roof, and you go, how many people have access to even do anything like that? It's tiny. And yet, what do you need with a basketball? You need a basketball and a hoop and someone to go play with. Or just shoot by yourself.
Yeah.
If you're me.
You don't even need anyone to play with. It's
Nah.
fine. If you can play it solitary, it's okay.
No,
I
you
mean,
can just get a waste paper basket, a bit of paper, and just Kobe it.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But that, you know, just going through that just highlighting what you said there, and that was one of the things that just really stood out to me in all the pictures, because I knew some of the players in the over 40s and the over 35 men's, and they were just posting stuff on Facebook, and you just saw it and went, that just looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
Just looks like you're playing hard. That finishes right. You're just hanging out with friends.
It's exactly that. It is, you know, we all rocked up. We got there, from my experience, we got there the day before the tournament started, and we were all arriving at different times. And we said, like, guys, just meet by the pool. And then the first guy's there in the swimming shorts, beautiful weather, sunglasses on with a beer. And then someone else arrives, and someone else arrives. And then, the 35s were there as well. The 45s came because we used to train together, the 40s and 45s. And then we're just having fun. We're just chilling by the pool. You know, we have no idea what this tournament's going to be like. We have no idea what level it's going to be, because it's the first tournament we've ever entered. We have no idea how we're going to do. We have no idea how our bodies are going to hold up. We're just, all of us, really excited and really chilled out. And it just became this sort of family holiday with not just your friends, but I don't want to speak ill of the older generations, but, you know, of your parents, your grandparents were kind of there as well, because you had from the 80-year-olds all the way down to the 35-year-olds. And then I was fortunate my family came as well, and some of the other guys' families there. So you've got the kids there coming to the games and cheering their parents on. It's just such an amazing experience that I'm very, very privileged to have been a part of. Similar when we went to Croatia, and you know, whilst I'm not playing this year, going to Italy, I'm helping out on the coaching side, and I just can't wait to go back, because they're just so much fun, and you make lifelong friends and lifelong memories, and every day, you know, whether you win or lose, is fun.
But you're all self-funded.
And that's the biggest issue. You know, ultimately, we have retired people, we have single mums, we have single parents, we have people that can't afford to go to these kind of tournaments. And it's the kind of experience that is so unique that it's a shame that not everyone will get to experience that. You know, you've got the ability, you've been picked to play for your country, and you can't go because you can't afford it. And that's something that as a FIMBA we're desperately trying to avoid. So whilst the individual teams can raise their own sponsors, which goes towards that team, FIMBA as an organisation also raises their own money for those that, you know, can't afford to go it, because money shouldn't be a reason why you can't represent your country.
Yeah.
So, you know, if anybody's out there, like I said, you 52,000 listeners, if all of you give me a quid, then everyone's going to Italy. Everyone that needs to go, that has earned the right to represent their country, can go to Italy next year.
Can I just highlight something that Bruce said there? And this is why this is the coolest thing in the world. You're representing your country.
Yeah, 100%.
And you put that jersey on. I mean, what's it feel like to put that GB jersey on?
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it again, to be honest.
There you go, Mark. There you go.
It is just, yeah, putting it on is one thing. You know, ultimately, it's got your name on the back. That's great, but I don't care about that. It's got Great Britain on the front.
You're playing for the name on the front, not the one on the back.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm playing for that name on the front, and you put it on. And we were fortunate again. One of our other players was quite high up in Jordan, so we all got a nice Jordan kit to play in as well. So then, for us, it was an even nicer experience because we've got that. And for the girls and men going this year, we've got an agreement now with Kit King. So
yeah, that was huge, wasn't it?
All 16 teams are going to be kitted out in night gear, which again, it just raises the profile and makes them what is an amazing experience. Now all of a sudden it's going to be a night shirt, which is so synonymous with basketball. It's going to feel even better for these guys. It's just the first time you put it on is great, but then the first time you walk onto court with it, it's a mixture of wanting to throw up, having all the pressure in the world on top of you, but also just wow, is this really happening to me? Because I never got the opportunity to play in age groups. I played other sport to county and international to a point, but not this kind of level. And to have that experience at 41, 42 years old, to be able to have that opportunity to still represent your country, it's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because there are a lot of people that, certainly in where FIMBA is so good, is we don't really care about your historical background in terms of basketball ability. If you've played BBL, international, college, national league, local league, we don't care. You're coming to us as an individual of Masters basketball, because there are some people that never played national league because they didn't have the time, they had work commitments, they couldn't give up the training time and the weekend time, but they're still now getting opportunity to play for their country because they're good enough, and that's just fantastic.
What you're saying, Bruce, is I've got a chance, yeah?
I didn't say that.
Bruce, I just want to ask you, when you first scored with the jersey on, what's that like? Did you was it a relief, or was it like goosebumps, or what was it?
It was a massive relief.
Was it your first shot?
No, I'd blown 3 layups beforehand. You know what it was? I blew 3 layups. I got fouled. I blew the first free throw, and I thought, right, come on, this is getting ridiculous now. And it actually, having that second free throw calmed me down, hit that, and then I was fine. Yeah, then I got into my rhythm a little bit more. But yeah, God, the first one I missed. Fast break, beautiful pass from Stephen Gale. And Stephen Gale doesn't pass, so I had to make that layup. I missed it, and it was wide open. The defender was nowhere near me because I was gone. As soon as we got the rebound, I ran. Like, this is it, first point. My dad's here, my father-in-law's here, my wife's here, my son's here. This is gonna be amazing. Oh my God, what have I done?
Did Steve pass you the ball for the rest of that quarter?
He's never passed to me again.
Never knowingly.
Actually, I'd imagine, just thinking about it, just trying to visualize it, like having a free throw moment, you would get all the goosebumps because you'd be like,
listen, I'm all about the free throw. 50% free throw, that's not shabby. Take that all day long. But also, was it psychologically, once you got that first one in, was there a, okay, I can settle into this a little bit? Yeah,
I think there was. I mean, I would never have noticed it, but it clearly was. Yeah, because after that, the whole game became easier. I was less jumpy. I was less, when you go, when you first ever game, probably the same thing. You're like a rabbit in the headlights. You're just running around wanting to do everything. And that free throw just calmed me down and let me focus on, actually, this is what I'm on this team to do.
Who were you playing?
Jordan.
Did you win?
Yes.
Don't forget, these guys went to the final, Mark.
I know. Yeah. I'm just checking, just make sure
these guys went all the way to the final.
You know what? The Jordan game was a really good settler for us because because it was the first one after lockdown, because this was meant to happen in 2020 and it got postponed for 2 years. So it's the first tournament after lockdown. No other FIMBA tournaments worldwide had happened. So we had some invitational teams. Obviously, Jordan, for those that aren't so good at geography, is not part of Europe. So they were an invitational team. So the score against them didn't count towards our league position, but we wanted to give them the opportunity to play. It was a great settler for us because we won by about 50. Everybody got lots of court time. Everybody got to go out, be the headless chicken with their jersey on, calm down. So then when it came to the games proper, Switzerland was tough. Spain had 2 ex-NBA players playing for them. That was a tough game. But we got used to each other by then. We got used to the courts and how we wanted to play, and we just chilled out because of that Jordan game. So I think that was one of the main reasons we did well, was that game started it all.
And going back to something you said,
yeah,
you get ex-NBA players then.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, when you're on the court and you go, hang on, I've watched you. You were on the telly. Okay, so you're an ex-NBA player, and I'm on the same court as you. That's weird, isn't it? That's got to be a weird thing.
Yeah.
What an amazing thing.
It is pretty cool. And this guy's got a gold medal because he played for Argentina when they beat the Dream Team.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm about to get a new NBA player turning up to next year's World Tournament. Michael Jordan has never won a Masters tournament.
And
Let's
he's
put
got
that on
a
record.
passport, right?
He's going to hear this now and go, right, I've got to go over there.
We'll sort you out a British passport. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean,
if MJ said he'd play it, we'd find a way to get that passport.
If Shaq wants to get his podcast above yours, I'm sure he's listening to this to get some tips. So Shaq, if you're interested, absolutely get involved.
I mean, he can try, but it's the one thing that I could block him on.
Well, I'll tell you what, look, I'm just going to wind back a little bit and just talk about the actual, because I think it's really important to talk about the actual ethos of the FIMBA G organisation. And this is just some of the notes I wrote down. Bruce, tell me if I'm wrong. But it's purpose, adding, again, something to your life. I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about now. When you're training for FIMBA, you're thinking about that every day, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah.
You go into the gym, you're running, and you're just thinking, right, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, we all have jobs. We're all up early in the morning to go to work. You're up 2 hours earlier so you can go for a run, go for a bike ride, do some gym work before work. And then you finish work, you're doing the same. And all you're thinking about is, can't wait for the next training session, can't wait for the next training session. Yeah, we only train once a month. Some of the teams we come up against train 2-3 times a week. They're fully funded by their government, which I remind everyone we're not. We get that once a month training session where we come together and we have to be great. And we have 12 training sessions, maximum of 12 training sessions before a tournament, for a group of people that have never played together to come together and try and win a medal. And that's where I think FIMBA is so different. And the reason that we have that success is because we focus so much on the social side of it as well. So we'll always have a weekend camp. We'll always go and have dinner in the evening. We'll go and have a drink together and so on. So you get that bond off the court. So when you're then on the court, as you know, that if you get on with the people you play with, you play better. Yeah. I've been in teams where we've had superstars and we should have destroyed everyone in the league, but we haven't because we just didn't get on. Whereas I've had teams where we haven't had any superstars and we've gone on to win the league and cups and playoffs and all sorts because we've just had this great spirit on court together. Yeah.
And I think that's vital, that is. And I'm sure any player will, I think, recognise what I'm about to say is the away game. When you're playing basketball, those away games, when you're stuck on a bus with each other from anywhere between an hour and 5 hours, whatever it is, that is really when the team's coming together.
Yeah. I've got a story about, and not to do with FIMBA, so I know we're going off topic, but when I played for the Nottingham Knights, we had a minibus that we all crammed into. And again, in the night stage, we had Guy Renton, we had Steve McLaughlin that dunked on Jordan in his high school days, by the way. He's got that poster on his wall.
Yeah, I would. If I did that, I would.
100%. I'd wear a T-shirt every day with that on it.
That's how I'd introduce myself. Hey, I'm Paul. I dunked on Jordan 40 years ago.
I think he had it
Here's a
tattooed
picture
somewhere across his forehead. I'm not sure. But, big guys. So this bus, we were all cramped in and we're going up to Newcastle and down to Plymouth and all these horrible away games. And I remember the coach at the time had cut out like a section at the top of the minibus where he'd just stuck a TV in. And then we had an extension lead that was plugged into the 12-volt socket that was powering this TV. And the only thing he had was Gone Fishing, which is a dreadful film with... the guy from Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover. It's an awful film. I swear we watched it every away game that season. Until one day Mac bought the college tape in, the high school tape of him dunking on Jordan, and we just watched that constantly. Just that one clip.
Hey, I'm surprised he didn't carry that around with him everywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, look, With technology the way it is now, he's got to have that on his phone.
That's a GIF. He's got it. He sends it, just sends it to people.
He'll still have it on Betamax. Yeah, it's
Wow.
I don't know why this just popped on my head, but this was when I was playing National League Div 2. We had a coach. I don't know if you know him, a guy called Mick Byrne. He's passed away now, but he was England manager, an England coach. You know, he pretty much won everything in the game. He was ill and couldn't. Alex is going to shoot me for saying this. He was ill and couldn't travel, and he always drove the bus. So his son Alex Byrne drove the bus, and we got to the venue, but there was like a really long road that was maybe 100 meters, 150 meters, and it had like about 10 really huge speed bumps. And he stopped. It's like a straight line. He stopped and he went, "Guys, this is going to get a bit weird, or this is going to be awesome." And he just floored it over these speed bumps. I mean, you had players flying over seats, bags flying. Yeah, but it was a good memory anyway. I don't know why that just popped in my
So
head.
it was awesome.
It was awesome, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't think that bus would have lasted many months after that. But we got home. That's the important thing.
We were overtaking snowplows once, so yeah, I'm surprised we ever got home as well. Anything to stop gone fishing playing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So the next thing is like, you know, with that purpose, like, you know, exactly what I'm saying. You have that focus, that purpose, you know, and it doesn't matter how old you are. But I guess the next thing is vision for the actual organisation in, you know, to actually be recognised as the leading Masters basketball organisation for GB.
Yeah, it's pretty special, and that goes along with, you know, we have two delegates, Nikki and Maria, that are go to the FIMBA organisation. They are part of moving FIMBA basketball forward. We're very clear on what we want to do. You know, we want as many people as possible continue to play basketball into older age, and we want to facilitate that. You know, if those people get the opportunity to play for Great Britain, that's a fantastic thing for them to do. If not, we have the GB Masters, which is affiliated to FIMBA GB, and we can find them local Masters teams. We have the annual tournament, which I think is where I might have broken your finger. So, you know, there's plenty of opportunities. We want to help people stay in basketball. It's not just about the international stage. That's what FIMBA GB and the beautiful kits and the nice shiny medals and the great experiences are. But we want people to play basketball. Now, that's really what Nikki's vision has been from day one about FIMBA. And if we can facilitate that and give them the opportunity to play for their country, then, you know, great.
And I think you got to argue that the proof in the success of that is the fact that you guys are winning medals.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we first started, I think there were 6 teams, 6 age group teams. That's what was originally going to Malaga. And then COVID hit, and people obviously needed some kind of outlet. They wanted to, you know, a lot of people, they went one of two ways. You either took up a hobby and did sport, or you ate and drank and hoped for the best in 2 or 3 years' time. And after COVID, we came out of lockdown, and all of a sudden we had 14 teams, because we had all these other age groups that were like, can we play? No, we haven't got a team, but hang on, we've got another 10, 12, 15 people that from your age group that suddenly want to get involved in this. So over that COVID break, it was probably one of the best things that happened to FIMBA, because we went from that 6 team, you know, let's see how we get on, to suddenly we were this organisation that had purpose, had a mission, had a vision, and had some power to actually support the older athlete in continuing to play basketball. Yeah,
and something else I'm just going to touch on now is what I think is really important is the values that go with FIMBA GB. And I think anyone who's playing competitive basketball can associate themselves with the FIMBA GB values. So I'm just looking at what you guys have got here. Competitiveness, enjoyment, inclusion, excellent, teamwork, respect. That's basically everything that you're talking about so far on this podcast.
Yeah, and the players that join us sign up to that. Not figuratively sign up to it, because that's why they want to play for us. They want to have fun. They want to be competitive. It may be that they don't have this opportunity to play in their local area, so now they're allowed to. You know, they've been persecuted because of age, religion, sex, whatever it may be. We don't do that. You know, you are part of the FIMBA family, whether you're 35, 70, 80, whatever you are, you're part of the FIMBA family, and everybody else in FIMBA will support you. And what I really love, and I had this at the Wolfpack, and I've got it with the GB40s, the female, the women's team that I'm assistant coaching with now as well, is they're not only pushing themselves to get better, but they're pushing their teammates to get better. So they're raising the bar for each other rather than just pushing themselves. They are helping their teammates get better. You know, it's brilliant. As a coach watching, and I've never been in this situation before. I've always been a player and said, I'm never coaching, never going to do it, never going to do it. Did it at uni, but that was for other reasons. But with this, it's great because you sit back and you actually see a player interacting with another player and how positive they are about, you know, try this, or I noticed this, or can you put that pass, you know, a millimetre in front of me instead of where it is. And they're just constantly trying to help each other get better because of that team spirit, and it's brilliant. It's an absolute joy to be a part of and a joy to watch when it's on court. And
I actually would say that filters for all the teams. From everything that I've seen and experienced, I think that filters through all the teams. And the reason I say that, what I've seen from the other teams is that even like on the WhatsApp groups, you'll have like the captain of the over 40s men's is a guy called Woody. I know you know him well. Yeah. But he'll post something of him doing a training session. And again, going back to that ethos, that purpose, you're seeing him do it and going, I need to go and do it now. And it's why it just kind of just becomes part of your everyday life. It's like, yeah, you know, and you know, you're getting fitter, you're getting, I guess, mentally healthier as well. And yeah, it's almost like everyone's encouraging and egging each other on to become fitter and better basketball players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Woody's brilliant at those kind of things. You know, him and I have known each other for years. We've always been on separate teams. My first ever National League game, he was playing for South Notts College. I was playing for Nottingham Hustlers, as it was back then. And he went down the Derby route, went to college in the States, played all over Europe, but went down the Derby route. I'd stayed Nottingham. So we've always had battles, and we kind of grew up through the divisions together. Local league, we were in separate local league teams. We battled against each other. When it came to charity games, for some reason, we'd just get picked on opposite sides. So we'd battle against each other. It got to a stage where our wives knew if we played each other, because only us gave us certain injuries and bruises and marks. Everybody knew that, oh, you were playing Woody tonight because you've got the scratch that only Woody gives you, or you've got the bruise that only Bruce gives you. It was brilliant. And then we got him involved in FIMBA, you know, really good mate, and I was desperate to get him involved, but he was one of those youngsters, those horrible ones that, you know, aren't quite old enough. We got him involved and he just fitted in brilliantly, and we were invited to go and play a friendly against the 40s men in Switzerland. So we went over there, and for the first time ever, him and I have got the same kit on, and it was a brilliant moment. Again, same kit, playing on the same court. And they went to Croatia together. We won a medal together, and that was, you know, we both kind of looked at each other and said, we've kind of completed basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, we were surprised the world hadn't stopped turning, the fact that we were both on the same side. But the same, you know, I injured my leg in Malaga, and he was sending me workout videos to strengthen the muscles around.
He does, doesn't he? He puts loads of workout videos on there, like, this is what I'm doing. And look, that's what captains do. The captains are saying, this is what I'm doing, and you know, if you want to be on the team, you know, you need to be following the captain.
Yeah, and it's exactly the same. You know, the 40s women, after a weekend training session, someone has got a picture of them 6, 7 o'clock in the morning on a bike in the gym, and everyone's going, oh, thanks for that. Yeah, we know, we're on it. We'll go now. It's not a guilt trip, but it's like, okay, well, if you're doing that, I should be doing that too. And it is really inspirational for them. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm gonna quote Sebastian Coe. Lord Coe, as Mark was just about to say. I could see his face then. Lord Coe. So we're always going up against Steve Cram, wasn't he? Is it Steve Cram? And it was Christmas Day, and Co had gone out once, and he went to go out a second time, and he was like, it was cold, it was raining, and he was like, I don't know if I want to go out. And in the back of my mind, back of his mind, he thought, Cram's going out for two workouts today, so I got to go out for 2 workouts today. And it's really funny, like 30, 40 years later, he told Steve Cram that story. Steve Cram went, you only went out twice. But it's where that competitiveness kind of, drives each other. I love the fact that as we've grown up, you have, I don't want to say enemies, but you've got your nemesis on court for other teams.
Yeah.
And then when you turn up to FIMBA GB, it's like, look, we're all on the same side now. And it's, I guess by the time you get to that age, you've matured as well, to the point where it's like those stories where you've got in the hustles and all that with them in the past on the court. It's like, they're fun stories to talk about now, and we're playing together.
Absolutely. But I actually think it helps massively, because certainly Woody and I playing together on the same team, I knew exactly what he was going to do because I've played against him so many times. I know when he gets the ball in that position, what he's going to do. So I know where I need to be open, and vice versa. So actually playing against someone as opposed to with someone is sometimes a massive advantage. And that's the mix you get with FIMBA. You get some that have played together for many years. You get some that have played against each other, so they know each other's game. And you get some newbies that fit in and bring something else. And it's not like any basketball team you've ever played for.
Mark, you would like the way Woody shoots. He looks a little bit like Kevin Garnett when he shoots. You know, where the ball comes further behind his head. Every time I see him shoot, I just think Kevin Garnett. But
nice.
But yeah, so we've gone through, I guess, the ethos of, and the values and stuff of FIMBA GB. So one of the things that people may not be aware is there's an actual committee that I know you're part of.
I am.
Let's talk about the committee. So FIMBA GB is big enough now that you need a committee to organise everything.
Yeah, and as I said, I think because of the expansion that we had, and we suddenly realised we're on something really good, and we sent a questionnaire out after Malaga saying, okay, what did we do well? What do we need to improve? Pre-tournament, during tournament, post-tournament, and we thought, to actually build this into what we want to see and how we want this to look, we need a committee. We need people from different parts of different age groups, from different teams. So we've got team managers, we've got coaches, we've got players. So we've got a big mix across the men's and the women's teams. So we have that different mindset, the different viewpoints of what FIMBA should look like. But we all have those same values, the same mission, the same purpose. But we look at each individual aspect of what we're trying to do from a completely different angle, which means we get a really good finished product, rather than it being, just the 40s men deciding what to do, or just the 55 women that would only look at a certain way of doing it. Having these different mindsets work on it means that, we have this beautiful new brand that we now have. Rather than just being FIMBA GB and our colours are red, white and blue, there's now a story behind it. We have our funky sort of street style font on everything. The tagline, #the game never stops, because that's us. The game does never stop with us, because you can play until most people will probably outplay me. But we have it in a sort of a street font, because it links back to the urban side of basketball. It's sort of building on the hip hop heritage that is so synonymous with basketball. So we have a reason for FIMBA GB. We have a branding behind it, and then that comes on to the purpose and the mission and the vision, and then you get your values. And what my values were quite different for what I thought was FIMBA GB to one of the other committee members' values, because she's looking at it from a different angle. And between us, we came up with this lovely set of 6 reasons to be part of this, so that we all said absolutely. We all of us 100% agreed with everything that was on those values. So it's there's still a lot of work to do. There's a lot of opportunities out there. Certainly not easy. 14 different teams training at different venues, training at different times with different priorities, different issues as well. But being part of that and being part of shaping how this is going to look into the future, and then having that influence with FIMBA Global of the changes that we can make locally to then build up to the international game is it's just really exciting. It's a nice distraction from the stress and strains of work, and it's just a really, I know I keep saying it, but as a player, as a coach, as a follower, as a committee member, it's just a nice organization to be a part of. Every part of it is fun, it's different, it's interesting.
And I love the way, sorry Mark, I love the way that that you've got 16 teams. So getting all those 16 teams on one day in the same venue is going to be extremely difficult. But you have all those 16 different teams that are playing at different times throughout the month. And then all of a sudden you go to a tournament and you're all together. That, from a committee perspective, that must be really satisfying for you guys to walk in and go, this is what we created.
Yeah, it is. When you see, yes, the individual teams are great, but when you see, someone from the 50s women chatting to the 35 men, or vice versa, they're having a drink together, or you're joining a conga line that I think it's the 55s women, like a conga. You're joining a conga line with these guys around a rooftop balcony, and as the sun goes down, you kind of walk into there and go, right, this is what FIMBA is. This is what we're helping to get better, build it into something stronger. We want to be a major force in international basketball at Masters level, and we can be. We have 14 teams. We're one of the most well represented teams, and we're known for our fun. People are coming to us, like the Swiss team came to us and said, look guys, we want to do a friendly with you. We'll host you. They put us, we went to a beautiful place called Vevey right on Lake Geneva. We got to play in the stadium where they're holding the Final Fours. So we had the court that they were going to be playing on, and then we got to watch the game in the evening, and that was through basketball. That was because we beat them in Malaga and we got on well, and we had a beer with them afterwards, and we had good fun, and they wanted to keep that going. And those are the kind of relationships we've got with so many other international teams, that if we do want to go on tour somewhere, we have someone that will host us, or we can get them here. It's just the FIMBA GB family is one thing, but then the FIMBA Global family is that we could really build into that and become something quite special.
Yeah, and sorry.
So you've said quite a few times about how FIMBA are helping players and keeping people moving, keeping people in the game. It's great, obviously mentally, for everything that the world's gone through the last 3 or 4 years. What can people do to help FIMBA? What can players do? What can the basketball community do? And what can people within that sort of realm of GB? What can people do to help the likes of FIMBA?
It's support us. It's promote us. It's dare I say, even donate to us. We have a lot of people out there that have an affiliation with basketball, that have companies they work for that are willing to sponsor FIMBA and give these players that are putting in this effort, at an older age. And it is generally, mental health is a massive part of this as well. And I'll talk about that when I finish the sales pitch. But donate to us. We have a great website, FIMBA-GB.com. All the details are on there about what a partnership with FIMBA looks like. We're not looking for sponsors. We are genuinely looking for partners. We're looking for people that are going to be part of this journey with us, that are going to support a player that joins at 35 and still be part of our family when they leave at 70. There are so many opportunities to get involved, whether it is sponsoring a player, buying us a t-shirt, sponsoring a physio, supporting someone with injury rehab, paying for kits, paying for hotels, paying for flights, paying for food. Everything costs. We worked out that the overall cost for a single team. So this year, a lot of the teams are doing the World Cup in Croatia, and they're doing the European Championships, which is the big one, in Italy. So with all the training and the hotels and the food, and then the physio and the cost of the training venues and the flights and the accommodation and then the tournament entry fees, it's about £25,000 a team.
And how many people would be under that umbrella of a team, just roughly?
14, 15.
Okay.
12 players and then support staff.
And then support staff. Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah.
That's somebody's summer holiday. That we have people that are going to Italy and foregoing a summer holiday with their family because they have this opportunity. And it's great that they're doing that, but it's so sad that they're in that position that they're having to choose.
I thought you meant 25 grand was someone's summer holiday, Bruce. I was thinking, I don't know what holidays you go on for 25 grand, but that is, I want to be part of that holiday.
Well, now I'm not playing. I'm saving a bit of the tournament fees. I'm with people as a coach. So.
But no, I mean, it's not an insignificant amount of money, is it? Especially if you said you fielded like 16 teams.
Exactly.
That's
anyone, most teams have got their own Justgiving page. So have a look on Justgiving, search for FIMBA GB, and you'll get the team that you want to support with. But like I said, there's a lot of information on the website. You can email us at media@fimba-gb.com as well. Just get in touch, social media, anything that you can do to support us. Benefit in kind, gifts of kind, anything you can do to support this journey and help these incredible individuals represent their country would be hugely appreciated.
So I can see if you're a player, I want to wear GB on the shirt. I know Paul does. I know loads of people would. That goes without saying. But you've also mentioned all the support staff and all that side of things as well.
Yeah.
How do you raise awareness for all of this as an organisation? Because we're going back towards the beginning of the interview, but people get to a certain point professionally and they go, right, that's it, I'm going to hang my boots up because my knees are knackered. I've torn my ACL, I've blown this knee out, I've done this, all sorts of stuff. How do you pitch it to people in a way that they say, well, you can still play? Like your basketball knowledge and your IQ, it's just a different type of game, or it's
But Mark, also it goes further than that. So the physios, they're like, okay, you're part of this GB team.
Exactly.
They're the physio. I remember the first time I walked into training, guy on my left said, do you want me to tape your ankles up?
You love a physio, don't you?
I was really shocked. I was like, I haven't been asked that for like 20 years, but it just straight away it went, okay, there's a physio. Okay, you've got coach, assistant coach. You've got that team around them. So I think it's not just playing, it's that whole package around each team.
But where do you get those people coming into it as well? Because it's that awareness of
it is
the pathway.
And I'll be honest, that's one of our biggest challenges as a committee is that promotion side. It's using social media in the right way to give the right messages. We can talk about our values, we can talk about our mission and our vision, but if nobody sees it and nobody gets behind it, then it's a difficult one to push. So doing things like this, really appreciate the opportunity to come on with you guys, and hopefully that will help raise the profile. It's a lot of our players are coaches, so they've coached the junior leagues or they're still involved with their old national league teams. So even though those guys giving us a little shout out, saying we've got this ex-player that is now part of the FIMBA GB setup. The hoods were great for me. When I got picked, they put it all over social media, they put it on the website. They really pushed the fact that they had an ex-player that was now part of this. And then on the back of that, we've got two other ex-hoods players that are now in the system and in one way or another. So, we need the basketball community to rally around each other. Like I said, most of our players are coaching the junior teams. We need to get more basketball players supporting each other in the overall basketball situation in GB when it comes to funding is dreadful. The higher we can raise the profile, and if we're talking from juniors, so what's that, 12 years old, all the way up to now 70, 80 years old, what an amazing story.
Is that the oldest player, 80?
I don't know hours. I think he is. There is an over 90s tournament.
Bloody hell.
I know. And
I
honestly,
might make that.
These guys.
I would not want to ref that.
They're incredible.
I would not want technical foul. I would not want to ref that.
Wow.
So I apologise if I upset anyone there.
They're the games that people want to go and watch because these guys are like superhumans. I mean, I'm 44 and I can't walk properly. God knows what I'm going to be like at 90.
That's amazing. You know what? I never even looked at it like that. I just thought, oh, you've got the over 40s. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I never even thought over 45s, over 50s, 60s, all the way
70s
up.
And that's it. Masters basketball does tend to be very focused on the over 40s.
Because that's what I'm finding is really interesting about this conversation, because when we've had people in the past talking about, say, like with Portsmouth Force, the local team, and they were doing a lot of fun and fundamentals, and you're getting the juniors, and just something simple as this is the same kit that you're wearing as what the National League team's playing. So then the kids see, there's my pathway.
Yeah.
Then they go and play, then they play in local league or national league or whatever it is, get to 35. Where do people go after that? Like, what? There's the cliff. Off you go. Push you in
got some amazing players who don't play.
Tournament, but there's nothing really that engages Masters basketball.
Yeah.
With that they go and play local league and they hate it because they're going up against 16, 17-year-old kids that are running circles around them and have got no respect for the game and cover themselves in deep heat before they even step onto a court. So it's a difficult thing to find that outlet when you get to their age, and that's where we come in. And where we'd love to get to is that we have an affiliation with every county, so we can say, right, here's a Masters organisation, here's a Masters league, here's a Masters tournament that's happening in that area. That's the dream, but that we're a long way from that yet.
What about venues?
I think they got to be specific venues because you got a lot of teams coming in together.
Yeah.
So from my experience, some of the UK Masters, there's like 3 or 4 courts, and those courts might have at least 2 basketball courts. So
no badminton lines, no.
You know what? When me and Bruce played against each other, it was in where is it, Bruce? Worcester. Before this is something my son said to me the other day. He said, and I don't even know where this came from out the blue. He said, "Dad, do you know what the 3 hardest things for a man to say?" It's like, "No, what?" And he went, 1, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. 2, I need help. And 3, Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Anyway, so we were, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Worcestershire. We were playing at Worcestershire. So they had 3 courts.
You were going on about that again.
So they had 3 courts, and in the main venue, where like the university is, funnily enough, they're called the Wolfpack as well. And their middle court is what we would call a purist basketball court, which we absolutely love. Yeah. The other 2 courts did have the dreaded badminton lines and tennis courts and all that on it. But that was a nice court, really nice court.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, you mentioned badminton a couple of times, but that's one of the biggest issues in getting venues for training, because a basketball team will hire out a court. Badminton, you've got 3 courts you can hire out. Yeah. So as a sports centre manager, which one are you going to go for?
Yeah,
it pains me to say it, but even bespoke basketball venues have kind of bitten the bullet and gone, and we kind of need to put some badminton courts in.
I don't understand.
That's a sad day, Bruce.
It really is.
So I don't understand this. They've got these courts where you've got it's like the matting that they can roll out now. And they've got better to the point where I think I know if Plymouth have done it, the Raiders, I think they've done that. And it's like
like 3 courts that they tied together.
Yeah, but it's like a carpet, like a mat. It's not quite like the proper click lock. It's sort of that in between. But that stuff, why don't they have that as the badminton court? Because it doesn't matter then, does it?
Yeah.
Like what? And then
I'm not convinced. I might be wrong. I don't know badminton. I'm not convinced you need a sprung floor to really help you with badminton.
Bruce,
put them in a car park.
Our mindset is along. Mark, you literally just said where I was going. Bruce said, it can be a hard floor. You said car park. Put them in the car park, and it's like, look, guys, you're going to play 2 games today. You got badminton, and you got to dodge the cars.
Yeah.
Well, they don't even need a net. They can just use the car and hit over that, right?
Let's look at that. Bruce is also saving materials. No nets required.
Sustainability is a big part of the future.
I've got to give a shout out to the Nottingham is it arena? What's that called?
The Wildcats Arena.
Yeah, that's a really nice venue because it just looks great, feels great. and there's like, I want to say like 6 basketball courts there or something like that, isn't it? If you went across the court.
4 or 5, I think.
Yeah. It's a great venue. I know GB use it. So yeah. Also, just saying, you said about master tournaments coming up. There are rumblings about a Masters tournament in Austria, in Vienna, in May as well. So that's another one, Mark. So a team could go to Croatia, go to Austria, and then go to the championships in Italy.
What a terrible life that would be.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
There's probably a tournament somewhere, even in Europe, at least every month, a Masters tournament that you can go to. Spain have hundreds of them. You know, they've got a couple of really good ones that we've been to in the past. But then the big one, you know, the FIMBA ones are the big ones. They're the ones where you've got your opening ceremony and you give each other gifts before games, and you know, it's a real sort of old person's Olympics feel to it. It's fantastic.
Are we doing like? Is it like the true Olympics where it's like an 8-hour ceremony of Austria?
That will have
as Bologna.
Yeah, it's all happening.
It genuinely is. And unfortunately, as G, you kind of go in and there's not much of an atmosphere in the stadium because we're Great Britain, so we're quite early on. By the time
you do walk in,
yeah,
you
do. You genuinely, you all go in, you're waving your flag, you've all got your matching opening ceremony shirts, and then the other teams, they kind of walk up and then they sit in the stands and cheer the other teams in. So by the time you get, you want to be Yugoslavia, because they got every other team's already there. So 240 people from 30 other countries around the world are cheering Yugoslavia when they come in.
Yeah, but they're cheering because they're like, hurry up, come on. We want to go to the bar.
The bar's not open yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there a ranking at all?
There is, yeah. So it's based on medals won. Similar to how the Olympics work.
Okay.
So from either a FIMBA, I think it's the FIMBA World Championship, the FIMBA Americas Championship, and FIMBA European Championships. I think if you win a medal in one of those, it goes into your GB pot.
Oh wow! Okay, that's cool. And
yeah,
we've looked previously at where GB basketball, obviously, I'm guessing under 35, you classify it technically.
You just say the international GB team. Our classification in FIBA is like 48, 58, something like that. Is there the same thing for FIMBA? Is there a classification worldwide of each of the teams?
I don't think so, no, because it's so much different. Because obviously, a 40-year-old could have an amazing team one year, but the next year half of them are then 45 and half of them stay in the 40s. So it's difficult to give a classification.
They've all had heart attacks.
Well, you know what? We talked earlier about this, the mental health thing, and we do this wonderful thing called FIMBA GB Stories, where...
Oh, yeah, they're good. They are.
They're on our website, they're on our newsletter, we put them over social media. It's where FIMBA people, whether that's players, coaches, whatever it may be, has a story to tell where basketball has helped them. So we've had people with mental health struggles during COVID. We had people that have had heart attacks that were told they're never going to play again, that are now back playing basketball. I think you might have interviewed one of them beforehand.
The legend, Keith White.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you've had ones that, hated basketball, but then their father was an amazing player, and as a legacy to him, they're picking up basketball again.
She'd be a good one to get on as well.
It is genuinely this family help each other, help anyone to do with FIMBA. Everybody wants to help every other member of FIMBA GB. It's a really special feeling.
You're part of something, aren't you? That's why we always go back to with a basketball team and like looking at with the juniors and even just from my even journey. Just you're part of a team. You're part of something. It matters. It's important, and you actually learn more about people as you go through. You're like in the trenches with them, so to speak. But it does make a difference.
So strange. My wife went. So she didn't. She played younger, stopped, and then went back to play recently. And she walked into Nottingham Wildcats Arena for a local team, and the girl that used to do the table for me when I was playing was her new teammate. And she was playing against one of the women that plays for the FIMBA 55s. That obviously they've known each other from meeting each other in Malaga, and it's just like a big hug. And now, they're sort of chatting and helping each other out, and then we're going to help them with the training, help us with the training, and it is incredible. You just bump into these people from all over the place, from all over the country, all just having fun, enjoying playing basketball, and being successful with it.
So hang on, your wife plays as well. Do you guys like do practice at the same sort of venues, or is it like you splitting in different places?
So it used to be. So she used to play for the Wildcats when I was at the Hood. So we got to saw it the first 10 years of our married life. She was on the left-hand court, I was on the right-hand court.
Ah, that's cool.
We didn't even share lifts because I had to give the boys a lift home. So,
Who's the better shooter?
So long together because the first 10 years we didn't talk to each other.
Did she play for FIMBA GB?
She does, yeah. She plays for the 40s. She's actually captain of the 40s women. So as always, she's trumped me and gone.
No pressure then.
Like
when
pressure.
you go, like when you go to those tournaments, it's like.
Do you play like husband and wife horse? Do you ever do that? And like who would win?
This is like love and basketball, isn't
it?
It is. That's what I'm thinking.
Me.
He
used to be a lot better than me, like so much better than me. But I didn't let it slip, and she took time out. So I think
I'm not editing this, Bruce.
Now, I don't think I can stand on a basketball court. So she'll probably it'll be closer, but I'll probably still just nick it.
You're saving yourself there, Bruce. But this is not getting edited out.
we went to a friend's wedding. His dad is the great Steve Asinder, who's a great basketball name. So he's got basketball courts all in this school. We have this nice outdoor court. We're all there in our suits, and Charlie's in this beautiful dress, and we're just playing basketball. And then she sets a screen on me, and I just plow through it as I would if anyone set a screen on me.
You know what? I'm visualizing Kobe on, when he was playing.
Pau Gasol.
Boom! Yeah. You did that on your wife.
It was a little bit like that. So barge through her, get to the layup, and George Branch, another amazing Birmingham basketball legend, said, "What are you doing? You can't do that." And Charlie just dusted herself up on, "What? It's a rubbish screen."
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We can't play games at home. We can't do board games because we get too competitive.
Excellent.
It would be the end of a beautiful marriage if we did that.
But that must be nice though, having someone else who understands that drive with basketball as well.
No, it is absolutely. And she was brilliant for me, and because I was giving up my family time to train to do this, and that was tough, and she supported me massively. So that's why when we got the opportunity to go to Croatia together, I was like, right, I'm not telling anybody that I've injured my knee. Coach didn't know, Woody knew, and the physio knew, but I wasn't telling Coach because there's no way that I'd have been picked, because there's no way I should really have been playing. But painkillers and strapping are amazing things nowadays. But to get the opportunity to wear the GB kit with your wife at the same tournament, and your son there to watch it, it was brilliant. And now I get to support her going to Italy, and I'm so excited. I'm stoked for it. It'd be brilliant.
I like the idea is like Bruce is having a debate with his wife, and she just gets out the C on her shirt and goes, "Look, I've got a C there. You ain't got that."
Wow.
Well, until we go to Italy, I'll just get up my silver medal.
No pressure. She's under pressure now. Got to get to that final. You know what? One of the things I wanted to talk about was the actual quality, I think, of like the actual standard. Like, I think you mentioned it, like you think there is a huge opportunity that FIMBA GB can go out and seriously compete in all the age categories. Just for like an example, you've got in the over 45 men's, you got ex-BBL player Mark Jackson. For the men's over 40s, the coach is Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw, National League Division 1, Derby Trailblazers coach. So that's just two examples. The standard is high.
It's huge. Yeah, the 45s are stacked as well. Yeah, but they've got Mike Martin, Commonwealth Games bronze medalist. We've got incredible talent all the way through the age groups, and male and female. I'm kind of looking at the medals that we've won. We've won medals at 35, 40, 70, 55, and 60.
We've won medals at 70. That is awesome.
Yeah, they got bronze at the Euros last in Malaga.
That is awesome, though.
We literally we have, other than the 40, 45, just the 45 age group that we haven't got a medal for.
No pressure, Jackson.
Yeah. But you know what? I mean, they had it tough. You know, one of their group games was against Italy, who have basically won it for the last 27 years, and they had a really tough game against them. I'm not going to blame the rest, but a couple of calls didn't go their way, and that kind of just derailed them a little bit. But that, you know, the team they had, if they were on the different side of the draw, they're in the final easy.
Oh, okay.
So I'm excited for them in Italy.
So does the basketball standard, as we've sort of just touched on that, because players are older, yes, there is an element of some of the physicality. I'd imagine it'd be quite physical, but in the same way, obviously, maybe less sprinting to a certain degree. But there is an argument to say that the basketball IQ is probably way through the roof compared to like junior games, because you guys have got like 20 plus years of running the drills, and like you said, playing with other people and knowing where people are going to go. And you've also played in the same leagues where people, I won't say do certain moves, but people maneuver the ball, manipulate the ball a certain way. So you're used to that. Whereas, you know, that tends to be generational, doesn't it? Which is what they see with people like LeBron, when they say he's played with people who are very old vets, and then he also played with, you know, the new generations, and he's played between, not blowing smoke up him, but he has had a very drastic change of the actual game itself.
I would say is when you're at the training sessions and you see how fast some of these guys are running, mate. It's
no question. But you know, they're not 18, and there's a different type of athleticism, isn't it, between an 18-year-old and even a 35-year-old. There's just different athleticism.
It is, and I think that kind of makes you be smarter because you haven't got the athleticism.
But you are more physical when you're older. That's one of the things, isn't it? Because when you're 18,
you're less afraid of getting broken, I think.
And 40s onwards, like you grew up in the 80s, so it's like, you know, you're used to
physical basketball.
Yeah.
Like it's funny, you know, that's why I used to love going against Woody, because we would come back battered, bruised, cuts all over us, and you know, you go against other guys and it's just a bit soft. And you think, no, that's not why I play the game. I'm an ex-rugby guy. I want the contact. I want to be fighting. I want to be battling. You know, I don't want to get a whistle because I got called once for boxing out too hard. How did you box out too hard, for goodness sake? That's when I knew the game had got a little bit soft.
Yeah.
But no, you got to be smarter. But I mean, we run. I mean, the Wolfpack's coached by Neil McElduff, who's again phenomenal coach. One with Hemel and Worthing and lots of things down in the south. And his ethos was: your offense takes you 8 second offense, 24-second defense. So as soon as we had that ball, all 5 of us were expected to be at that other end of the court. And, you know, in the close game, so Spain and Switzerland, both hugely physical teams, you know, we were close for 3 quarters, but in that 4th quarter, we'd run them off the court. And that's when we finally got our lead stretched, because we just ran and we ran and we ran and we ran, and that was such a big thing. So yeah, don't think, you know, just because we're older, we aren't as quick. You know, Woody actually coached the Hoods Div 3 team when we played them in a friendly. They were, we're going against these old boys. You know, this will be fun. We'll run off the court. He said, you won't. There's no way you're going to run these boys off the court. I said, yeah, whatever, coach, no problems. And yeah, he was right. We were outrunning them. We were fitter than them. We were stronger than them. We were faster than them. And most importantly, we outthought them.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing of IQ in basketball that I've appreciated as I've got older, rather than just doing, well, I say not just doing the fundamentals, but just appreciating not just where you should be, but why you should be there.
I think that's why I'm enjoying this so much, is because I was never a great player. I'm like a Dennis Rodman. I'm just a hustler. You know, if you want me to go and hit somebody and hit them hard so they think twice about it, that's me. I'll get every rebound that's going. I'll set every screen for everybody else. But I know how the right positioning. I know where I need to be. And now in Masters, my game hasn't really changed that much. I'm lost about 20 inches on my vertical, but other than that, my game's not really played. I still hit people hard, I still rebound, and I get to the right positions. And it does. It just makes you think a lot more about why you're in that position.
So what would you like to see in FIMBA? What would you like to see happen?
Are you talking like the next step? Or?
Yeah, next few years. What is there any like goals or dreams or things that you'd want to see?
Got to be gold, hasn't it? Got to win
Yeah,
gold.
I mean, I want us consistently winning medals. We've got one gold medal, and that was when we did FIMBA at home during lockdown. They did a sort of video skills competition, and I think Mark Jackson was on the 40s. So he helped us win gold. And we had Taran Algar as well, who's what are they called? Street skills guy that travels all around the world doing the skills. So we had those two on our team, and another guy, Anton from London, great player as well. So those guys just absolutely wiped the floor. But we've silver and bronze. We've got a lot of those. We haven't got a gold yet. We want to get gold, and we want to be consistently in the finals at these competitions at as many age groups as we can be.
And you know something that I picked up when I was watching the some of the videos and stuff in Malaga, especially in some of these tournaments, was the fact, and I love this idea, was the fact that you've got your men's over 40s in a semi-final final. You've got all the other FIMBA GB teams now.
Yeah,
man, they're in a final here supporting you guys. Yeah.
It was like a home game. It was amazing. You know, we were gutted to lose, but just having all that support and everyone just coming and, you know, they kind of saw it as the tournament went on. The first few games, you get a few people, you know, a few of the locals coming and maybe someone doing a scouting report. And then as the tournament goes on, people go, well, I don't want to sit by the pool. I want to go and watch another team. I want to go and support GB. You know, we went and watched the 45s loads because of Mark and the other guys there that we used to train with. We went and watched the women's. We went and watched the 70s men because they're just inspirational. You know, and it just builds up that camaraderie, and it's so much fun.
So, Bruce, what do you reckon the chances are then of in Italy this year of FIMBA getting a gold medal or getting to the finals?
I think we're going to get a lot of finals. The gold is tough. I mean, it's one of those
Italy
things.
Are strong, aren't they?
Italy are really strong at most age groups, especially on the male side. The women's side tends to be more Eastern European. Hungary are really strong. I'm trying to think. Latvia are really strong. You know, Estonia, all the sort of old Eastern European teams are good on the women's side. Men's, it's Germany, it's Italy. You know, they're the ones and Spain. You know, they're the ones we come up against. But I think we're going to get. I can see a gold in. I can see a gold for the Wolfpack. I can see finals at 35 men and women. I can see the women's 35 could get gold. Yeah, I think we're gonna be in the 40s. Women will be in for a medal. I think the 50s women will be. I think the 60s men will be. It's going to be interesting. I think we'll do better than we did in Malaga. But that gold is so tough.
No pressure.
So if you get those predictions wrong, you're doing penalty drinks then, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just checking.
That's quite cool. I don't know if this is a silly question. I know a few people have mentioned it before, but are there like huge parties? Like, do the people actually organising the actual events, do they say, right, after the final, there's a massive party where all like 5,000 of you can come?
No. Well, yes and no. So each team will have its own little party, and they might invite some of their other friends round. So it might be a couple of the teams they get on well with, and they'll just have a couple of drinks. There's always a FIMBA party, and it's midway through the tournament. So we have a rest day when nobody plays. You have the party the night before. And then you have a rest day when none of the teams are playing because it's a party. But everybody goes to the Swiss party.
Yeah. Why is that?
The Swiss, because it's mental. So the Swiss team have huge sponsors. They're ploughing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, into their Masters team.
And FIBA is based in Switzerland as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of the players are very wealthy, and they just put on a heck of a party. And if you get to choose one of the parties to go to, most will go to the Swiss one rather than the FIMBA one, which I know is a little bit.
It's got the reputation then.
Yeah, it is. It's like everyone going, okay, FIMBA party's there. When's the Swiss? Has anyone heard from the Swiss yet?
Where's the hotel? When's your party?
Yeah. Oh no, we're playing Italy the next day. Damn it.
So why do you think Italy? Why is Italy such a strong team historically? Is it?
I think that, I mean, they're a strong team anyway in FIBA.
Yeah.
They've got a very big basketball heritage.
Yeah.
You know, I was fortunate. I lived and played in Italy for a year. Well, I lived in Italy for a year at university and played for the uni team. And even the uni team, the press coverage you get for your uni team is huge. You know, basketball is, you've got football and then you've got basketball and volleyball. Unless Ferrari are obviously doing anything at all, then obviously that takes over everything.
Of course.
But yeah, it's such a major thing. And as I said, they're fully funded.
But you said about the transition though. That's what I'm interested in, because they obviously love sport and they love these certain sports. But we're talking over 35s, over 40, over 45s, etc. So they clearly very good at showing that pathway and saying, hey, just because you're not doing this, keep going.
Yeah, and again, it's to do. You know, they still get national coverage, even at masters level. They're getting national coverage of their success.
That's very cool.
The team we played, they still had 2 guys playing Div 2 in Italy. I mean, 40 years old. One of them looked like my granddad and was jumping out the gym. It was scary. They're very, very talented.
I think, yeah.
And
so I was going to say, Mark Jackson in his interview, he actually turned around and said in one of the games, they were like, yeah, he used to be the top European scorer. You're just about to go up against him.
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it? I mean,
it's so weird when you see these guys and you see the ex-NBA players, even though they're older and they're broken and a bit slower, you can still see the way they hold their body on court is completely different to anything you've ever seen in a basketball game. The way they warm up, the way they shoot, the motion, it's just muscle memory. Yeah, they can be looking out the deer and they're still knocking them all down all day long because they just know what they're doing, and it's really great to watch. But difficult to go up against the stop, but great to watch.
Yeah. I was just also going to add, you talk about the Italians, just look at the Italians that have just, run through the city. Every time an Italian comes in, they're playing at a bloody good standard. Like, just remember Antonio Santoro. Remember he came in?
I was thinking of Antonio, exactly that.
For
very athletic.
He was, really, really strong player. I don't know if this is a silly question or not, but does every team have their own name? Obviously, I know you've got the 40s have got the Lions, so the GB Lions. And I'm actually looking up in front of me. There's some great pictures on the FIMBA Great Britain Facebook page, and I'm seeing FIMBA GB Brotherhood, and it's one of the players I know plays on who lives on the Isle of Wight. Yeah. Are they called the Brotherhood, or is that?
So, in theory, we're all just FIMBA GB, and then our age category. My team was the Wolfpack, and we kind of started this naming thing because our motto was the strength of the pack is the wolf and the strength of the wolf is the pack. The Rudyard Kipling saying, we had that on our shirts because we were a unit. We did everything together at training weekends, and everybody looked at us and our camaraderie and said, this is what we want to be. We've had a couple of in I think the 55s men were named after sponsors. So we had the Herons 55s. And then other teams go, well, we kind of want a name. We're a basketball team. Basketball teams should have names. And so some of them have come up with it. The Brotherhood is the 45, so it's Mark Jackson's team. And again, it was a similar thing because they're a really close-knit group of guys. And when after Malaga, there were some other teams that kind of joined in with them. So they said, hey, we're a brotherhood. We are a GB team, and we're getting other people and local people in and so on. So that name stuck. Whether they use that officially when they go to tournaments, I don't know, but that's the name they'll enter local tournaments in. That's the other international competitions they'll enter as brotherhood. But in theory, FIMBA GB is our tournament name. And then some of them name themselves, whether that's officially or unofficially. But it's nice. It's nice to have a name. It is it's a basketball thing, isn't it? You know, we've got a little. My son gave me his wolf teddy that went to all our training sessions, went to all our matches. It sat at the end of the bench. He had his own profile picture on the website. You know, he was called Pack the Wolf. You know, and he was great. It was kind of it was a joke at the beginning, and then it just kind of became a thing, and he became a little good luck charm for us.
And does each team have a different kit, or does everyone go away with the same kit, home and away kit?
Yeah, so everyone, it was again slightly different in Malaga because we had this guy that gave us all pre-Jordan kit, but typically we want all FIMBA GB teams to have the same kit. We want to look the same on court, off court, which is why this Nike deal with Kit King is such a big thing, because you know every single team will have that Nike kit, the Nike off court kit. The only difference will be the sponsored logos, because we have individual teams get their own individual sponsors, so that every penny they earn goes to that team, rather than because you try and split. Someone gives you $1,000 as a team, that's significant. As 15 teams, it's thanks, but that's not going to go very far.
I've seen an image of I guess I'll say the package, the clothing package that you get. Oh my, it looks freaking awesome. Like you got a home jersey, a home kit, an away kit. Like I think it's red and blue. And then you've got like your warm up top. You got your warm up jogger bombs. You've got
you got off court kit to wear to and from the games. You got a nice little quarter zip fleece to travel in.
I've seen a warm up kit as well now.
The reversible.
Yes, even that looks cool.
Do you supply your own pants?
What?
Well, we do have a deal with
yeah.
So you can get FIMBA GB pants.
Listen,
that's
you're gonna go for it. You're gonna go for it.
You wanted the pants is what you wanted to talk about.
The other one was pajamas.
I think there's a towel. I think you can get a FIMBA GB towel as well. Actually, let's talk about that. There is actually a clothing line, Mark, and the link is on the website. If you go right, I think it's right down the bottom of the homepage. I think it's under the I think there's two bits. It's hashtag the game never stops, and there's like some stuff you can go around with FIMBA the game never stops, and then I think the other stuff is
So we call it the fan gear, which is just generic wear with our logo on. The game never stops. FIMBA GB in our funky street font. Then you've got the Nike stuff. Now the Nike kits, the off court, on court, only team members can get that, because that's the specialty of being part of GB. You get this kit that no one else has got.
Yeah.
But we also have a Nike store where you can get FIMBA GB kit, Nike branded, at great pricing as part of the overall deal that we got. So even fans and followers of us can get their Nike wear through us and show support for us, which would just be brilliant. I'm so excited about getting Nike on board.
I mean, that's huge, isn't it? It's huge.
That is fantastic.
And one of the things I actually love seeing, a couple of the guys I know have got one, and it's it might have been Jackson who sorted this out, but it's just like a bag, a FIMBA GB bag, and it's got like their initials and their number on it. I think that is so cool.
Yeah, it was Mark that sorted them.
I know the one thing that Paul would want, 100%. It's the Letterman.
Oh, like a Letterman jacket. Oh yeah. That'd be really cool. They don't do that, Mark.
No, I don't know why you're obsessed with those.
It's like £200 a jacket.
Yeah, you're obsessed with those.
Yeah, that's why we don't. We're trying to raise money to go to tournaments. We can't all afford a £200 jacket.
Sell them for 400, Bruce, and then there you go.
But that's a really good point, and I'm trying to think, because of the way you would like supporting FIMBA GB, and I guess for our listeners, if you do want to support FIMBA GB, probably the best way to do it. I mean, because you're talking about there's so many teams.
Yeah.
And I know you've said to me off air there isn't a GoFundMe page for all of the teams, but I guess for our listeners, if anyone does want to, even if it's £1, brilliant. Like if 50, like what Bruce said, if 51,000 people put £1 in, it's nothing to them, but it's massive to FIMBA GB. But I suppose if they put it under, I mean, the team that you're coaching, Bruce, is the women's over 40s.
Yeah.
So if they put it under that GoFundMe and just write Talking Basketball podcast,
Yep.
at least you guys then know, okay, that's for...
Absolutely, and we'll put that into the FIMBA pot, for all the teams. You know, that would be amazing. So yeah, it's just on Justgiving, FIMBA GB 40s spelt FORTIES rather than numbers. Yeah, if you put Talking Basketball podcast on there, yeah, that'd be a great way to donate to the organisation. But if you know anybody that wants to support, whether that is as a team manager or as a coach or any other, you know, website design, social media, anyone that can help with social media, get in touch. You know, we're always looking for volunteers to really help our profile and become part of this. It's not just a monetary thing we're looking for. We're looking for those donations of benefit in kind, of support, of help, of knowledge that we haven't got within our groups to really help push this organisation forward.
And the other thing I would probably add to that, again, it's people like from a playing perspective, people trying to get in the team, but also for people who want to help and be part of that. You're part of representing your country, whether it's a physio or creating a website or whatever that is, what your field, you're actually, I think, representing your country, even if you're not playing. That's how I would look at it anyway.
Absolutely. You know, even if you're not playing, you are wearing your GB kit. You have your GB polo shirt. You know, the coaches and team managers have a tournament specific GB polo shirt that no one else in the world can get hold of.
That is awesome, isn't it?
And pants.
Oh yeah,
Don't forget the pants.
Don't forget, that's important for you. I'll get you some now.
GB pants, yeah,
absolutely. Never forget.
We can do FIMBA GB budgie smugglers as well if you want to do water aerobics in the pool.
It's all right. I'll bring my own, Bruce. Bring my own.
And the other thing I think, you know, we should also do is celebrate everyone who is part of FIMBA GB. So the way I saw it was through players playing and stuff like that. But, you know, just looking, you know, at some of these, some of the players, like I know some of these players, like you know some of these players, they're, you know, National League, you know, representation as far as like, you know, Plymouth is one example here. I think if we could get those National League teams, or even the local league teams, I think celebrate the people who are, you know, making that jump and have managed to get into the team or managed to coach or physio, whatever it is, and be proud of them.
Especially last year, we had a couple of the BBL teams. London Lions was one on the women's side. You know, they did just a video of them after a training session, wishing us good luck. We had a good friend of mine, Jamal Anderson, GB gold medal from Commonwealth. He gave a little good luck message, shout out to us. We had the legend that is Peter Andre. Give us a good luck message, and actually he was supporting us all the way through. He was, you know, texting the team and checking how we were getting on and following the progress. That was pretty awesome. But, you know, it was great, and it helps raise the profile. If we can get these BBL National League sides, you know, most teams have some form of representation in FIMBA GB in one or other of the teams. If, you know, they can get behind it and help raise the profile of us, that would just be huge, because we are part of this bigger basketball community. And as I said, most of the players are probably coaching the junior teams at these sides as well. So we're giving back our experience. We're giving back, and you know, it's just, the more we can help raise basketball as a whole, fantastic. And obviously, Masters basketball for me now is such a big part of that. And having 240 players at an international tournament representing GB, that's huge.
And you know what? I would almost go as far to say I think FIMBA GB is probably the pinnacle of what a basketball player can achieve.
I think so, because there's nothing.
Because all of us can't go and play for the international, you know, men's, because we're not BBL players. But there's a lot of National League players, so FIMBA GB is the mountain to climb, isn't it?
And as I alluded to earlier, we've got local league players as well that maybe just haven't had the time to play National League. They're certainly good enough. They've put the work in to become it, but they just haven't got the time because of work, family, maybe they travel a lot, whatever it may be. The door's not closed. You know, this game is available for everyone. FIMBA GB is for everybody. And if you're not good enough to make the national team, you know, we still invite some people back to carry on training with us just because they're great to be around. They're a great member of the family. And it helps them because it gives them the outlets to play, you know, especially in the women's game. We find women really struggle to find local league teams, which again, now I'm part of that side of things. I hadn't realised before. They struggle to find local league teams, and having this as an outlet for those females that are no longer playing, even though it's once a month, they're still getting to play. They're still getting to do what they love doing. They might not make the team, but they're still being invited to the camps and join in and be part of that journey, which is lovely.
I think there's an opportunity for, I don't want to say FIMBA globally, but as that whole organisation in that respect of the awareness, because I follow basketball, didn't know it existed. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Just didn't know it existed. And then when someone, it was when we were talking with Andy Rowlands, and he was saying, "Oh, we're doing some stuff, and still playing. We're going to do something with GB." I was thinking, really? How are you? That doesn't make sense. Like, surely they're all like 26, 28. No, this is in Masters. And you go, oh, didn't know that was a thing.
Exactly, and anybody that thinks they have an opportunity or just wants to see what it's like, get in touch. Go through the website, contact us, get in touch, because I did, and it's been brilliant, and I've loved every second of it, and I'm so involved in it now. It's just seeing it from all the different angles is such a brilliant thing to be a part of. And I never thought I'd get to wear a GB kit. I certainly never thought I'd coach a women's team, but I'm doing it. I'm loving it. So get in touch, get involved. Doesn't matter where you've come from. Most of the players that we have now are because they've been invited by another player that already knows about FIMBA.
So once you've done this round, are you going to be suiting back up?
Depends how the rehab goes, and depends how the conversation goes with the wife as well.
Oh.
Well, look, Bruce,
which one's more painful?
You got to over 75s. So
I know.
There we go.
No problem.
The way I'm feeling today, I reckon I might just be back in time for that one.
I love that. I love the idea that a family can go away and they support one or the other, and it's just
magic. That is.
Yeah, representing your country doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't. It's brilliant. My dad lives abroad, and obviously didn't get to see him through lockdown. And then he was in Malaga supporting me, and it's the first time I've seen him in 2.5 years. And it was just, he was there. He was there to see me get my silver medal, and he was there. It's one of my favourite photos. I've got the Union Jack round me. He's cuddled in with me. He's looking down at my medal. I'm looking down at him, and it's just
brilliant.
It's amazing. It's one of my favourite photos in the world.
I'm not going to lie. I'm disappointed you're not wearing the medal right now, Bruce, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's because I wasn't sure I'd ever get to play.
I thought you were going to come on with like Flavor Flav.
The Union Jack behind.
Yeah, just
but
start as you go on.
If it was gold, it wouldn't have been taken off ever. So that's a lot of the inspiration for me wanting to get back, is the fact that I've kind of still got unfinished business. If I never won a medal, it'd be fine, but silver's like, come on, so close to gold.
So if Mrs. Bruce goes away and gets a gold, how's that going?
That's pressure.
How's that going to sit?
100% coming back.
When Bruce was talking about his dad, I couldn't help think his dad, like in his first game, Bruce, that's a layup. Second one,
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pressure.
Yeah, coach didn't bench me, but my dad did.
Oh dear. Well, look, I mean, I think, I'm being quite open, like on a lot of our podcasts about FIMBA GB. I think it's an absolutely amazing organisation. It's great that it's open for anyone to, have the opportunity to get involved, playing or coaching, whatever aspect they would like to try. And yeah, again, if anyone does want to get involved, obviously go to the website for sponsorship. Obviously, the over 40s women, go to that Justgiving page and just write.
We'll put the links. We'll put the links in the bottom of this episode. So if you listen to this episode, they'll be in the notes somewhere. We'll put the links on there.
And again, I will finish with there is nothing cooler than having the opportunity to play for your country. Simple as that.
No.
100%.
And getting pants.
You really want these pants, don't you?
I want those pants.
I'll get you some pants.
Yes.
I've said this before. I think the podcast should go to the European Championship?
Sounds interesting.
Because you literally got an episode a day, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, except for the day off. We're not going to break that.
Yeah, you can DJ the Swiss party.
Just everyone will be garbled and it'll be a mess. Yeah, lovely. Well, that was, very insightful because, as I say, Bruce, I just didn't really have an understanding of where FIMBA fit in the whole, ecosystem, I guess, of British basketball. So it's really, and to understand how big it is and how not just impactful it is for players now, or players who've played in the past, but the juniors. It's like there is a whole basketball. You can be playing basketball for 50 years. When you're 12, you can play it for 50 years. It's not a sport that you're just going to drop.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, our tagline: "The game never stops." And
that's great. That is
it.
Game never stops.
Yeah. It is, and it on court, off court, same. It's great.
Well, I'd say that's that's a pretty good one for this week. Bruce, thank you so much for joining us and taking the time out. I really appreciate it.
Really good fun.
If you want to get in contact with Bruce, drop us a message, or obviously contact him directly. We'll have all the details on our episodes. Go back and listen to some of our episodes if you haven't listened to them before. I have been Mark.
I have been Paul.
Oh, I've been Bruce.
Yeah!
That big point helped.